Welcome back to the Troubleshooting Like podcast. I'm your host, Craig Poston, with my co-host, Jay Peters, where we talk about various topics, sharing our experiences on life and finance. What's up, man?
What's going on?
Not much. Another week, huh?
Another week.
Yeah. How's things going?
They're kind of up and down at the moment. So, like, I think I kind of talked about it in the last podcast where I had like a renter coming by and stuff. But it turns out that they weren't able to pay. So, like, I'm in this situation where I have to evict them now because they're not communicating with me anymore. I was able to get them on the phone for like a few minutes to kind of go over the situation, and I'm trying to help them out, just trying to get some sort of agreement saying that, hey, we can break the lease and stuff. But since they haven't provided me any notice and I haven't, and they haven't provided any like mutual agreement between us, that's like my only course of action is to go through the eviction process. So we're going to start that here either today or tomorrow. But throughout that, and I was talking to like an attorney this past week too, getting some advice on that stuff. So yeah, I'm going to have to start doing that this upcoming week, and hopefully I can also re-rent the unit out here soon.
Okay. Yeah. But they never really moved in, right?
No, dude, they didn't move in. They didn't request any keys. Yeah, no, and they just haven't communicated. Like, I understand their situation. They were expecting to receive certain like subsistence or assistance. Yeah, to do like a move-in at least, and they didn't receive it. So like 2 days before they were supposed to move in, they just told me that, hey, we won't be able to make the payments. But they didn't say they wanted to break the lease. They actually stated that they did not want to break the lease because they didn't want to have a broken lease on their record. I don't think they realized that an eviction is worse than a broken lease. So
yeah, I don't think they understand how it works, because all they have to do is really pay the fee to bring the lease.
Yeah,
that's it. Because I've had to do it before. You pay the fee, that's how you get out of the lease.
Yeah. So I don't know, but it's just gotten to this point to where like, dude, I've tried to hit them up like almost daily. So a couple of times I'd give them some time to at least like take their time to respond, but they never did. So I followed up with them as much as possible via email, via text, via phone calls, voicemails, whatever it was. And it's just, we're just at this point now. So yeah.
No, that's crazy. But I mean, it's an experience though that you now you learn something new.
Yeah. And then try to get other renters in the room we're living in before this place. So I actually got a decent amount of applications that are applicants for that. So just working that out right now. Hopefully I have someone moved into that place this week. And then I might end up doing that for this place too, man. Instead of renting the entire place out, just do a buy the room type of deal.
Yeah.
Because that seems to have worked out a little bit better, profitability wise, a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, hey, hopefully everything gets worked out. I think you're still in a good situation. They never moved in, so your place is not at risk. Nobody can damage anything. Which like I said, if you listen to other podcasts or go on YouTube and listen to people's horror stories about like when they actually have to kick people out of the house, like versus like just get them to legally break the lease. Yeah. So like they have all these horror stories where people like pouring cement down the toilet, stuff like that. Where they messing up the drain.
Dude, that's crazy.
Pouring what is that? Putting holes in the wall. It's just randomly doing stuff, or just at that point where they just gave up. They leave all their things there, and then and then you got to go through the process of cleaning all that mess out and fixing anything that they left behind, and so like there's definitely worse situations. Yours is not as bad. It's just a freaking headache, because like
and that's all it's really been like this entire week. I've just had this. It's more like thoughts and stuff. I'm like, man, like because I haven't really gone through this. I kind of went through like a couple of years ago when I had a roommate that they just ended up leaving. Yeah, and they didn't pay that month's rent either. And they didn't break their lease. They would just say, hey, I'm leaving. Yeah, that's it. So dealing with that was kind of okay, but it was such a small blow at that time that I didn't care. Yeah. So, but this one, like, now it's costing me to not have this person. So, but so I just need like an attorney just to validate some of the things that I needed to know or needed to do. So, yeah, I mean, like I said, that's what's going on so far.
Yeah, man. And I guess for me, well, we're working out where we're getting into a personal property. So, and we're actually doing a new build now.
How did that showing go the other day?
The what now?
The showing that you went to last week?
The showing?
Yeah. The house.
The model homes you talking about?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, they've sorry for the Blake, because I think I forgot I told you. But yeah, we went to, so it's the Bernie area, and it was, the homes were nice, just out of our price range, because I definitely didn't want to spend what they were talking about spending. But he said it wasn't to purchase his home. He would say it was more as a visual. He wanted us to see what their builder can offer. Mm-hmm. So, and you can actually get those same features in whatever price point home that you're in, and that's how they were doing it. Mm. And yeah, so the homes that he showed were actually really cool. One was a single floor that was super spacious. I'm trying to remember the square footage for it, because it was 41. It was, because it was a 70-foot lot, and I think it was something around 4,100 square feet. But it was super spacious. The garage was a 3-car garage with a lot of room. The master bedroom had a lot of room with big walk-in closets. The kids' rooms would be large. It had office. It had the dining room area. Had a large kitchen, also like more of a, what do you call it, butler's pantry. Like, also your instead of just having a laundry room, it was more of a utility room. So you can actually walk in there and close it off so nobody can see it if you don't want them to see it. Yeah, and the yard wasn't bad. It actually, the covered patio was really nice. Actually a good setup if you wanted to set up a either outdoor kitchen or just encase your grill into stone, whatever it is, right? It actually, so it was a really, really nice home. But the point was, he wanted us to see what we could get in the home that we were talking about purchasing. Mm. Yeah, but then you had to do the salesman side too, right? He's like, "What? But it's also for sale," like it's so like, yeah, but not for us. Yeah, because it's bad enough just like already working my brain out to even go to the price point that we're going now, because I know we're not doing it to keep up with the Joneses. We're doing it to go to a better school system. That's a lot of times how you see it. They know that's what families look for, and that's why they do that. They put the better homes near the good schools. Yeah, and that's so that's kind of like where we are. Is just already got approved for what we're looking for. So we did the pre-qual. They said we're good to go to start a contract. Went through that process actually yesterday to Saturday, and so far everything looks pretty good. Gave the earnest money, all that good stuff. Only thing, it was funny because I didn't want to do a check. I don't like messing around with checks, because the account that I have checks for, I normally don't keep money in those. Yeah, it's usually money goes to either, what you call it, a high interest rate savings account, or it goes into some type of brokerage fund or something like that. It never sits in a checking account, or so, which doesn't make sense to keep money in your checking account unless you're about to pay for something or buy something. That's, and in my mind, that's how you see it, because you don't earn any money on that. The bank does, though. When you hold your money in an account, a bank earns money on you, even though they give you a very small percentage of it. So any money that you just keep lingering in something that you're not earning interest on, they're lending it out to somebody else at a higher rate that they're receiving money. Mm-hmm. And that's the thing. When you start to learn, you're like, okay, well then I'm gonna put my money somewhere where I can earn something too. If it's gonna be a mutual agreement, it's not gonna be one-sided.
That's like one of the detriments, dude. I will say, like, there's been a book that I've been reading. It's I guess a chapter book, or like a children's chapter book. But I remember reading it when I was a kid, and it's by an author named Andrew Clements, and the book's called Lunch Money. And it's actually a really good book to read at a younger age. And because like the very beginning of it is about like this kid, like really young, who starts just, doing things that, his brothers didn't want to do, like chores around the house. And so like his parents would pay him instead of the brothers, or the brothers would pay him to get some of the like money from the chores. And what he would end up doing would be like, he would lend out his money to his brothers, and then he would like charge them interest on the money he was lending out. So like, say if it was like $5, like they wanted like, let's say like a comic book or something from like a shop, he would give him $5, but he's like, well, but now you owe me interest and you got to pay that back. So it was just funny how like he was like hustling his brothers to where like he would do their chores just to get the money. He would help them get stuff with the money he earned, and they would have to owe him more interest on the money. So
yeah, well, that's pretty cool though. Like he's like his own bank,
and that's what he was doing for like a long time. And he would just keep his money like in the house, like he would just kind of stash it in like different books and stuff. And there's a one where like, and he was like grade school at this time, and he had like $3,000 saved up just like in random books. And like, it wasn't until like his dad found the money that his dad told him that he should put this in a bank and stuff like that. And dude, it was just, it was a good book. Like, and it has like a good audio book on Audible. There's also an interview with the author, like how he came up with the topic and stuff like that. And I thought it was a good interview at the end of it too. So
Yeah, what's the name of it again?
it's called Lunch Money by Andrew Clements.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. I want to check that out. That seems pretty cool.
And the thing is, like, I mean, because like a lot of people they'll ask like what got other people into money, or like what got you into like finances and stuff like that. And I can never really like pinpoint it. I mean, of course, I could just say it was like because my parents didn't have money or like lived without money, so like that was just like something I gravitated towards, was to gain more money, to gain more wealth, to try to just make more. So like I remember like for some reason I was thinking back and I was like, one of the last times I read like a book in like grade school was that book, and I don't know why, I just enjoyed that book a lot, but
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah, speaking on books, it's taking me forever to read it because what I'm doing is trying to form my habit of reading at night or finding space to read. I'm reading a book where it was by David Green, and it was it Long Distance Real Estate? Yeah, so that's what I'm working on or reading. And then the other book that I just purchased is because I was listening to a podcast and I thought it sounded pretty cool. It's called Atomic Habits, and that was another one. I hadn't started that yet, but I had it ready to go so I could get ready to read it. And basically, he just like ways to create good habits. Everything starts with just a little bit of something, right? You can't, sometimes you can't build muscle, in the gym by trying to pump out 3 hours of workout. Sometimes you gotta, it's 30 minutes or it's 10 minutes to get started, because you can actually fatigue your muscles in 10 minutes. I've been proving that to myself by forming my new habit of like, okay, you missed the gym. Here, you got weights at home. Here, put some work in. So in 10 minutes, max it, you're not maxing out in weight, but you're maxing out in rep to make your arms or legs or whatever it is tired, which in a sense, you're still tearing down those muscles and building them back up.
Yeah.
So, so it's just something else that, I'm doing, because most people, it's hard to do these things on a regular without forming some type of habit for it.
No, I agree. And I've seen the book Atomic Habits pop up on my Audible and stuff as like something because you listen to this. There's also like these books. That was one of them. So yeah, let me know how it is, and I might grab it as well.
Yeah, I mean, the guy, when I was listening to him, I was like, it sounded good. It sounded like something that was it would be worth my time, because I'm always trying to figure out how to develop a habit, because you want to accomplish these goals. But sometimes it's hard because then you're going like, oh, I don't have time. But then if you took 10 minutes and started something, like, what would it lead to?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then like, if you did that 10 minutes every day, what would it lead to?
Yeah. And that's a lot of things. Like a lot of people feel like a lot of habits, they have to take a lot of time.
Yeah.
And they really don't. And I've looked into like a few things and stuff. And one of the things was like the 2-minute rule. As if you could do something in 2 minutes, then just do it right then. Like, don't even think about like how to do it, right? As in like for example, like loading a dishwasher doesn't take that long, so just do it. Right? Like cleaning up like counters on a kitchen doesn't take that long, just do it. Like maybe cleaning out a fridge, like tossing out stuff doesn't take that long, so just do it. Yeah, there's certain things that like those habits that you don't necessarily have to plan inside your time frame or inside your life. It's just because you're right there and you have those 2 minutes to do something. Yeah, just do it.
Yeah, no, that sounds good, man. All right, well, I guess we can get into our topic for today. Yep, fail fast to succeed quicker. But I like this topic. This is your topic. Did you want to explain it?
Yeah, so I mean, one of the big misconceptions to be just in general is that it takes time to learn something, or it takes a lot of time to learn something. So one of the things that a lot of people will say that for some reason they can't get a job is because they don't have the experience, as in like the amount of years doing a specific position to get something, or they don't have a degree or whatever it is, right? So, but I've met and I've interviewed a lot of people that have X amount of years in a position, but that doesn't mean they're good at it, and two, they actually know how to do the next position, right? So I've always disliked those requirements on jobs specifically, on professional life specifically. But what I've felt has helped me a lot is just doing something and expecting to fail. And when it does fail, just kind of, like just take the punches, take the licks, take the punches, and kind of deal with that pain, deal with getting better. Don't let it, cripple you. Don't let it make you feel weak because you weren't able to get it done in the first place or in the first attempt. But I think personally, I've grown a lot just from doing that, just from always trying to do something and expecting failure. And then when failure happens, just kind of take it to the next step, just, continuing on.
Yeah. More of that learning experience, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I think we place too much fear on the failure and not on the success behind the failure, right? I mean, that's something when I was reading Robert Kiyosaki's books, a lot of times how he looked at failure as a learning experience. And that's when I started changing my mind frame about it too, because that was the thing. You place so much fear on the failure, you'll never get started. Like, you want to invest your money, but you're so afraid you're going to lose your money. Well, like, okay, so then start with a little bit. What happens then? And then you realize, okay, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was. Okay, yes, I do lose money, but maybe I shouldn't put all my eggs in one basket. Or, it's the same with real estate. Maybe I shouldn't buy too many properties at one time, or come up with a way to create my own safety net. So when someone doesn't pay rent, or if things start to break, or hey, the things have changed in the economy, so people can't afford this high rent. Right? So everything you have to do, you got to learn from it, adjust to it, and then you keep moving forward. So that's why I really like this topic. It's just like the outline. Yeah, a lot on the outline. I was like, oh yeah, but but it's really cool. And I mean, honestly, you should definitely take the lead on like which points that you really want to hit on this, because we got a lot on this.
Yeah, no doubt. So kind of getting into it, right? So one of the points I put on here is just like I said in the last podcast, I enjoy defining things, because if it's defined, then there's a mutual understanding between everyone, whether you're participating in the conversation or just listening into it. So like failing fast and often, it's a concept that refers to the idea of intentionally failing quickly and frequently in order to learn and improve. This will emphasize the importance of taking risks, trying new things, and learning from mistakes in order to achieve success. The idea is that by failing quickly and frequently, individuals and organizations can learn from their mistakes and make adjustments or pivot to new strategies more efficiently, thus increasing their chances of success in the long run. It's just in my opinion, it's a good mindset that encourages experimentation, learning, and iteration.
Yeah.
So, and like kind of talking about, like you said, bringing up real estate, and like we were kind of talking about earlier, me having to go through an eviction, right? I think that can be seen as a failure, right? A lot of people can say like, well, now you have an eviction, that's why I wouldn't become a landlord, right? That's why I wouldn't, get into real estate, because it's too risky to not have someone to rent out your space, or not rent your space and not pay you rent and stuff like that. So I'm just taking it as another lesson, or another something to have in the book, something to take notes on, maybe information I can pass on to you all that are listening, or just to people around them, that, it is a tough situation, but it's just something you kind of have to go through.
Yeah. Nah, like I said before, your situation isn't as bad. You're still in a good position. You still have your place, and nobody's destroying it, right?
Yeah.
But but I definitely believe in that do as much as you can. And then you see what works, right? Because you don't know if you'll fail. You may actually succeed, because the fact is, if you feel like you're going to fail, then you're probably going to plan a little bit better, all right? I remember, I probably said it before on the podcast, my nephew, when he turned 18, graduated high school, I gave him a letter along with some money for his graduation gift. And the letter was like, lessons I learned, or like things I would do if I was 18. The whole point behind that was just to give him a little bit of like, of a guideline. And that was the thing. I never got that as a kid, as a teenager, anything. I didn't get like a guideline of how something, you should try something. And one of the items on that list, it was take more risks. And the reason why, at such a young age, like 18, your responsibilities are super low. Your expenses are super low. And as you try more and more things and you fail at them, guess what? You bounce back a whole lot quicker than a person who has all these other situations. If a person has family, kids, a lot of other people that depend on them, it could be more households that depend on them. As soon as people start stacking on the responsibility, the fear builds on not wanting to try things. And if you don't make a decision on how can I mitigate those fears, then you'll stay, more in that analysis paralysis, or just stuck and you feel depressed or whatever, and you feel like I'm not going anywhere. But guess what? If you make a little bit of a plan and get out of it, hey, I think you can move forward. But the whole point of why I gave my nephew that is just like, hey, try something, and it also kind of leads you down a path where, all right, well, I'm gaining more experiences. Now I know what I want to do with my life versus like when you stay more stagnant, you come unsure about who you are, what do you want to do. So like, but a person who kind of bounces around, experience life, I don't care if you go to another country, experience that. Just try something. And guess what? You will start to build that new person. That's why I like when I was listening to, I think it was Grant Cardone, and he was talking about picking up and leaving, moving somewhere else. I think it was another book also that talked about the same thing, just pick up and leave, move somewhere else, and it would create new experiences. And it also, it makes you adjust to wherever you're going. Because when you realize you don't have that same backing, have family right down the street, you don't have those same friends down the street, you start to become a whole new person, and you become more of a more mature person because you got to look out for yourself.
Yeah, I think it's because you're finding yourself, right? If you don't, you don't have all these other people that have been around your life the entire time, kind of forming your personality, your person, you, right? Your identity. You kind of go out, you experience more. You kind of feel that maybe there are certain things that you didn't like to do, or things that you do consider you enjoy to do, but it wasn't the people that were around you that influenced you, or it's things that you kind of came up with yourself, or came up because of the additional experiences you have.
Yeah, so that's exactly that's how I feel about it, and that's why when I hear anyone say anything about just pick up and leave, because I did it, kind of always resonates, and I was like, yeah, no, you shouldn't do that. Yeah. But a lot of people are fearful to leave, like just leave, and I'm like, if your expenses are low, if your responsibility is low, your chances of failing are slim.
Yeah.
But everyone thinks
you have very little to lose.
Yeah.
Like what, you got maybe a car to lose. That's it. But other than that, like you said, things are very low. So you can experiment, you can take a little bit more risk, take a little bit more chances when you're at that point.
Yeah. I mean, literally, like you said, I think that was the only thing I jacked my credit up. Guess what? There's ways around it. There's ways to figure out how to get your credit back, even before the 7 years. They call the 7 years of bad luck. You can figure out how to get your credit back before then. It'll take planning. It'll take you talking to the creditors. It'll take, it just takes effort, but it was effort well worth it. New experience. Now I know how to fix my credit if it goes bad. I know how to pass that on to my children. Hey, don't do this. Hey, if it does happen, do this, or I can help a friend out. I mean, either way it goes, all the experiences, they turned into something. So,
I definitely agree with that. Kind of continuing on is like, so the reason why I say fail fast is because when you fail fast and quick, it reduces the amount of time, because you can always fail at some point in time. Like we kind of been talking about that, where like you can fail when you're 18, you can fail when you're 28, when you're 30, whatever it is, right? Whatever age it is. But in my opinion, the more failures you take when you're 18 reduces the amount of failures you have to take when you're 20, reduces the amount of failures you have to take when you're 30, and stuff like that. And like someone that said it was saying that what you're doing when you fail early is that you're paying out ignorance, as in you're just paying down the amount of knowledge you don't know, the amount of experiences that you didn't have a lot quicker, right? And then failing slowly would be the opposite, as in, say you stayed in the same place for your entire life, say that you never went out to experience much of anything, but say, you do end up having kids, they might have those experiences later on that you may not be able to help them, right? There's things like that. Or you may meet someone that you need to help and you just don't have that experience or that information to help them. And I think it just helps like the overall community when people go out and they experience things, especially at a younger age, so that they can bring back that knowledge and help the overall community grow.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to put failing, just paying down that ignorance, because you don't know till you know, right? I didn't know that. I guess it's not something cool to know about getting your car repossessed, but like finding out in Texas, if you miss your payment day one, they actually have the right to take your vehicle. I didn't know that. I mean, even though that wasn't a situation, actually the bank stretched it out a lot longer than that, but knowing that they could do it is like, okay, that kind of makes it a little bit more scary to why you would want to make sure you pay everything on time, besides the fact that it damages your credit. It's like, oh, well, if they have the right to do that, which I doubt a bank wants to do that quick, because it's an asset they probably can't do anything with. Like, I mean, besides turn around and resell it, but then probably under the value. But it all pays down at some point, ignorance, right?
Yeah.
And you build a new person after that, a person with knowledge. Because as you pointed out before, ignorance is more of just a not knowing type of thing. It's not, when someone says ignorant, like as in it sounds like, okay, you're calling someone stupid or whatever, right?
Right. Yeah.
But it's more meant that you don't know what you don't know. You just don't know it, and that's all it means. And then as you keep building, putting as in a sense, building that foundation, stacking the bricks up, then you're building a solid foundation of a strong person who knows how to handle new situations as they keep coming to you.
Yeah. And then the people that you kind of impart that knowledge into, you can build their foundation quicker, or maybe even better than you, right? And that's the entire point of, like, for me, growing in general is that you can grow the people around you, you can grow the generations after you. And so to me, just overall life better, like they can, things will grow faster. Technological advancements can improve a lot more. Or they have the ability to improve a lot more, I should say. Yeah, just experiences can be a lot better. Kind of like the or similar to the, like, paying out ignorance is like the opportunity cost, right? So opportunity cost refers to the potential benefits that an individual or organization may have missed out due to choosing a particular action strategy. So when they fail slowly, or when a person fails slowly, they continue to invest time, resources, and energy into something that continues to fail, or a strategy despite the clear signs of failure. This means they're not able to pivot to new strategies or opportunities that may be more successful.
Yeah, no, definitely. Again, definitely a good topic, like I said, because that is a true thing. When you burn too much time worried about the last thing that you were doing versus like just jumping to the next thing. Okay, that didn't work. Let me go to the next thing. Or even, I mean, say if you did want to sink some time into it to actually figure the situation out, I mean, it also, again, builds that foundation. I think we're going to talk about it at some point in here, but we were talking about how if you slowly build up to it. But yeah, man, again, yeah, this is good. Yeah.
So then an example, at least for like personal examples, like, we work at IT and stuff, and there's times where if you don't know the system, if you don't know what's going on around, if you don't know what the problem is, and like the customer saying, hey, I have this problem, then you just kind of start searching for it, right? A better way to do it is just ask someone that knows what the potential problem is.
Yeah.
Or you could, pay down your own dead ignorance, look through it, try to figure it out, and come to a conclusion. So that's why, like, my bad.
No, you good, man. No. You're on the roll there. I was just saying that you're talking about mentors. That's what you're saying.
Yeah. So mentors, coaches, people that are around you, instructors, that's why people pay for education, right? Is because there's a professor or an instructor out there that knows more than they do. So why wouldn't you pay them to teach you what they know, right? Same way why you pay like an attorney, why you pay an accountant, it's because they have information you don't have.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because now that definitely makes more sense to me when you say it like that, because when you use the experiences of someone else to help you get through your failure a lot quicker, or help you avoid it altogether in a sense. But at this point, we're talking about the failure, after the failure. Using that experience will get you to the next point. And that's, I mean, honestly, that's why I kind of like it when I do find out something or find a better way to do something, and I can pass that on to my kids, my nephew, or friends, or anybody, right, who wants the information. But that's the big thing, though. They got to be ready for the information. Not everybody's ready for it. You try to tell them something, and it's like, nah, that, and it won't happen to me, or whatever. Like, hey, okay, right? But you never know. This is if you have the information, you're already locked and loaded. So when failure or a problem or whatever comes your way, you're ready to shoot it down. So having those mentors, having good people in your life that can help get you through tough times or help you avoid the tough times altogether. I mean, it's a good thing.
No, I definitely agree. And then kind of going to our next point is, and this is like one of the ones that he really gravitated towards, was overcoming the fear of failure.
Yeah.
So like, and this is more of like the emotional side that we kind of that negative self-talk. And I think we kind of talked about that stuff. It's really that negative self-talk where it talks you out of those situations. So like say, like, if you want to move out of your parents' house, right, when you're 18, and but all these like doubts, as in like, could I afford it? Could I? I don't even know what like a deposit is. I don't know like how to even apply for an apartment, whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
This is like what this specific portion is about.
Yeah. The reason why I definitely like this section is because I do this a lot. If I have fear about something, then I would always just kind of like dip my toe in that pool of risk. Yeah. And so I can feel, okay, all right. It's okay. It's a little cold, but it's okay. And then I move forward with trying the next step and the next step. And I could use an example of like forming an LLC. So like that might scare some people, like to start an LLC, but no one said you had to go through with the very last process, which is an applying at whatever your state of secretary, right? Or secretary of state. So like, so that's the very, very last process, but I won't say the very last process. That's the part to get it started. You still got the other things like building like your bank account and business credit and doing the insurance. But before that, you still could do all the research. If you like, you can call lawyers because that's exactly what I did. You call a lawyer, ask them on advice. Hey, should I start this business? What does it sound like to you? What are the things I need to look for with hiring a lawyer? I actually received a free hour of counseling from this lawyer. And that's just what they did that just to see if you'll be a good client for them. And it was basically, I asked them like certain questions. Hey, would I need insurance? Would I need this? Would I need that? And they actually had the information. They were like, and told me exactly how I should handle that situation. And that was a free hour. And then pointed me to a lawyer that would probably be best suited for my situation because they handle large clients.
Hey everyone, quick interruption. I just wanted to say from both Craig and I, thank you for taking the time to listen to us and our random rambling about life. If you have enjoyed this and think even one other person will enjoy this, then please share out this link, whether you found us on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, or any other platform. It costs no money and little time, but would have a great positive impact for our podcast and brand. All right, enough with the shameless plug. Let's get back to the podcast.
Yeah, and I respect them so much for what they were telling me because they basically saved me time, and what I got was counseling from someone that was experienced, and that would always stick with me. Other thing I did, I also called a CPA. All right, so but they specifically dealt with businesses, so I called a business accountant, pretty much, and the same thing. I received like good customer service, like. I'm asking questions and they answered my questions and then told me the best solution. So they said, hey, when your business has been rolling and you're receiving revenue for maybe a month or two or something like that, they were like, then give us a call so then we can help you out more with your situation. And then explain to me like how frequently would I probably use a CPA, things like that. But it all came from me just dipping my toe in that area because I wanted to know. I started looking at banks, right? Looking at, okay, what type of, what bank would be best suited for business account? And that's something, I didn't know, but I had to research, right? Mm-hmm. And also what I've found out that credit unions are sometimes the best banks to use when you're first starting out with a business. So, because they're more, I want to say, kind of like, it says like that community college thing, right? It's more of a close knit. They kind of willing, I can counsel you through this. It's not like big business. Hey, I'm looking for the big clients or whatever it is, right? Yeah. But so with them, it was actually also pretty good because actually when I got to the point where I had already filed and I was talking with the bank, they gave me more advice in the process. And I was just like, hey, since you're going to have to pull your credit anyway, right? How about we pull your credit? You apply for a credit card, apply for a line of credit, and get all approved at one time go. And I was like, but I'm saying you wouldn't know this, right? Unless you ask the questions or talk to somebody about it. Yeah. And so that's other things you can do is you can write a business plan. I actually received mentorship for free. They have this free mentorship called SCORE. Right now it's called, they also have the SCORE San Antonio, but this one, I'm not sure if it'll be in other states, but or other cities, but this is here in San Antonio. So what they do is they mentor you on a business, right? They give you advice on how you should get started. They can't give you the lawyer or legal. They can give you legal advice, and
Sure.
yeah, then they can't give you like more of that banking advice. They can only give you the overview of like how to get started, what you should do. Hey, have you thought about this? Maybe you should advertise more, or hey, maybe you should find a different clientele. That's what they do, and that helps you get started. It actually helped me figure out what I didn't want to do, honestly. And so like with the LLC I started, I'm like, man, I want to try something else with it. It's basically more of in a repair business, but then I was like, what if I could do something bigger with it? And so it actually helped me decide on what I really want to do with it, which I haven't got there yet, but that's what I'm focusing on. Like the thing with building real estate, things like that, trying to build up assets. It all leads to a bigger picture in the end. Yeah. So that's why I thought that I think I was already ready to jump to this one about dipping the toe into that, man. I was like, hey, that's how I built myself up, and I've done it with other things too. I mean, just go as simple as repairing something, right? Or repairing something that you've always thought was scary. Like some people are afraid to work on BMWs. Have you ever took a look under the hood? Have you ever tried? You know what I'm saying? Have you ever tried to change the oil? And then as you keep moving on, you're like, oh, this is not as scary. It's just like any other car. You know, I mean, that's just to look at it in a simple way, right?
Yeah, no, I mean, that's definitely, I love the one where you're talking about like how to start the business and stuff. And it definitely like gave me a lot of things to think about as well, because, you know, I never really went up to someone and asked like, hey, how do I do a business plan and stuff like that? Or like, what's the best way to do it? And definitely like calling people, like we talked about, is like to pay down the ignorance and pay down the time. Like if you didn't call these people, like they probably wouldn't have hastened the process a little bit more. It was all great, but like, yeah. And then going to your next one about like, have you ever fixed something, or have you ever looked into the hood just to try it out, right? Like you said, dip your toes in a little bit, right? And I started doing that a little bit too. Let's like say staying with cars and stuff, where like, so for example, like my car, it had like a check engine light on, right? But you know, I knew that places like AutoZone, you can get like a check engine thing for free, and they'll just kind of tell you what the error is and stuff like that. And then sometimes they'll make recommendations on like what to do. Like if, like for my example, it's one of my O2 sensors is like, it's dirty, or so it's not broken, it's just dirty. So like, they provided me like a cleaner with it. They provided like a few other things and stuff. So like that was like something. So it's not something I would have normally done. Like I probably would have just taken it to the shop, but I wanted to learn about it. I wanted to be more informed about my car and stuff. So I enjoyed the experience. And honestly, even that, like I actually met someone like plays basketball. He do like a little league here in San Antonio. Like he'll invite me out every once in a while to go shoot hoops and stuff. And there's just a lot of things that happened out of that one experience that I personally enjoyed.
Yeah, but again, that's why I said I like this one, because sometimes things do feel very overwhelming, and he's just like, hey, let me just hop in. Let me try a little bit. And I know some people, they're more of the full force people, and they just like, hey, I'm going full force, and if I fail, then I'll figure it out in the process, you know, which that's not bad too, especially if you're a good think on the feet type of person where, hey, you know how to bounce back real quick from a situation. You go like, okay, someone who can think around things. If something
adaptive.
Yeah. So like the slow process of just testing it out just a little bit, that's just to get you going. But if you're a person who's like, I'm ready to jump off the cliff. I got a parachute. I'm going to jump off the cliff. I'm just going to see if it works. Right. Yeah, you know, yeah. So, and I like both strategies, because sometimes it does help you pay down that ignorance a whole lot quicker when you just jump, and especially if you know that the failure is not as bad. If you have low expenses, if you have less responsibilities, if you have, you know, that you don't have much to lose. Which, I mean, when you're young, that's usually how it goes. You don't have much to lose. Because I when I was 19, I had an apartment. I had furniture that I had to gather from people. I had nothing. So I knew I had nothing, you know. So it's just one, if people understood that, you know, hey, don't go and buy, if this is your first apartment and you have good credit, don't buy your furniture from a big time furniture store, big commercial furniture store. Go get secondhand furniture. I mean, you know, thoughts like that, like, and like I said, and I'm trying to give out some mentorship now, because it makes it easy to bounce back from things when you fail. And so you're not too strapped down for your very first car, unless you know, really need to have a really nice car, you should just start with a car that's, very basic, a Yaris, you know what I'm saying? Anything, right? You know what I'm saying? You should not be out there trying to find a BMW and you just starting your life out. You should be working with the bare minimum and get going with that.
Yeah, and like for me, like a good like illustration of like how people are very fearful about taking things, and well, they just don't know, like all that ignorance is that, like, say if you're like in like the middle of the woods, right, and it's like incredibly foggy to where you can't see anything, right? You can't see anything around you, right? But you can't just stay there.
Yeah.
Right? You have to go somewhere. You have to find your way out of the woods. So the next natural thing is just to take the next step, right? Just take the next step forward, right? It doesn't have to be the next correct step. It doesn't have to be the most informed step. It doesn't have to be the best step that you'll ever take. It just has to be the next step, right? And then the next step, right? And then eventually you'll either find your way around, you'll get out of the fog, you'll get out of the forest, whatever it is. But I think that's what people will do, is that, they're in the forest, they're in the fog, and they just don't move, right? They're, like you said, they're very paralyzed by, I guess, paralysis by analysis. And they're just so afraid of anything happening, or they focus on the negative things. So like, say if I take my first step and I fall, right? Or say if I take my first step and, something jumps out at me. You don't actually know that's going to happen. So just, like I said, just take the next step.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You got your next one.
Yeah.
Or offer strategies for developing a growth mindset and tips for reframing failure as a learning opportunity.
Yeah. So one of the things that you can kind of do to focus on a growth mindset, and that's always like what I've been wanting to do is just focus on growth in general, is one is like embrace challenges, right? Instead of avoiding challenges, embrace them as opportunities for growth and learning. Yes, it may be painful, right? So for example, like working out, right? I've always said it, like working out doesn't feel good, especially like when you're lifting weights and stuff. Like this past week, like I went over to Austin. I wanted to have like a great workout with one of my buddies, and like he like whooped my butt on it, right? Like we were deadlifting, we went up to like 3 plates, and we were just trying to rep those out, and that hurt, and everything else after that just hurt, right? But it provides growth. I mean, of course not just from that one workout, but each iteration or each occurrence that you do it, you will see growth at some point. There was a point where I couldn't deadlift 315, right? There's a point where I could only deadlift 315 for 1 rep, right? Now, I'm able to do it for multiple reps or for multiple sets, whatever it is, right? So I think embracing those additional challenges, even though you may be afraid and you may not know, it'll provide another perspective to lean on.
Yeah, the growth mindset is something I adopt with everything. I mean, we could take it down to even swimming, right? Definitely was not a strong swimmer, but I was going to make sure that it happened. So what I did is I started learning techniques and started learning the motions and understand that, okay, this is how it feels to drag your legs if you're doing a freestyle. I mean, next I want to start doing more movements. I'm going to say, but you have different strokes. That's what it is, strokes. Yeah. So I want to start learning different strokes so I can have multiple tools when if I get dropped into some water somewhere, if it happens, hopefully it doesn't just happen like that, then I have multiple ways out of the water, Yeah, but the thing is, like, learning by doing that, by getting myself in the water, I actually started to get rid of fears. By learning something new, I dropped a new fear. And I was like, okay, well, the water isn't as bad, to be fully submerged and underwater like that. You just know, hey, to kick your legs like this to get away, never stand vertical in any water or you're going to fall straight down unless you're doing movements to keep yourself going. Is it sculling or singing, something like that, where you're constantly moving your arms and
treading water.
Yeah. Well, the treading water, treading water. You're right. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So like or either making yourself float, understanding that having oxygen in your lungs can make your body rise. So then when you know that you have full of air in your lungs if you need to float because you're tired, understanding that situation, or just knowing, okay, once you put your head underwater, the first thing you should be doing is breathing out, not holding your breath, because the CO2, once it starts to build up in your lungs, start to make you feel like you're already suffocating. like understanding this situation, and then like building your lung capacity, all that. But it all came from me wanting to learn something new. And that was, and it's, again, I probably mentioned it on the podcast. The reason why I did this, because I want to do more fun things in the water with my children. You know, if we wanted to do snorkeling and the water isn't as shallow, but like you're still over the top of the water, you can see what's going on. Like all those things that I want to do that. Or swimming far out, because I remember we were at the beach. They had this, I want to say this thing was probably 50 feet out away from shore. But like everybody was I didn't say everybody. It was a few people that were getting on it. And my kids were like pointing over there, can we go over there? And I'm like, I don't know about this. I don't even know what's in the water down there. I don't know how deep it is. I don't know. But then I want to, like by exposing myself to more water, which I found out from swimming, is that's what you do, is you keep exposing yourself to it. You reduce the fears of like things may be below you, but then like, hey, you know how to scope out the situation before you go. You know, yeah. So it all came from that growth mindset. Wanted to learn something new. IT, what we do, right? Yeah. Like you have to have a growth mindset. If you don't, you will get lost. Like you'll get passed up for promotion. You get the next person coming in is gonna, I won't say take your job, but they're gonna be the new hot thing that where they're getting the promotions, but you're not getting the promotion. So it's like it's always, you know, to always keep yourself going, growing. You know, to make get yourself to the next step. And then also I think it helps with the brain, right? It just makes you hold memory, retention, trying something new. Because I think I was watching a documentary on this, and it was about the longevity. Like once you reach a certain age, you're starting to deteriorate. But if you're a person who's learning something new, it actually helps your brain with Alzheimer's. That like I forget exactly what it's called. Like I said, there's documentaries on it. There's a lot of things on it. But one of the processes they were doing is they were being more active, and they also learned a new thing. And it was to help them through their process of getting older. And they weren't, you know, forgetting who they are, or they weren't as flexible because they were constantly doing things.
That sounds like a really good one to kind of look into. And like a lot of things that kind of help with like the growth mindset, and we kind of been talking about is of course learning from failure, but realizing that just like, you know, failure is a part of life. And instead of saying, well, or instead of feeling bad about yourself because you didn't do something right, or because something happened and it failed, just look at it and say, well, this time it didn't go right. What could I have done better? Right. Yeah. Like, you know, one of my favorite stories about like Kobe is that when he missed that game-winning shot against, I think, the Heat or against Miami, literally like after the game, all the other players of the Lakers said, let's go party out in Miami, where he went back to the gym and he just continued to practice that shot that he missed, right? He just continued to practice to where, and you know, of course, Kobe's like a very extreme type of person to where, of course, he would do that. Right, like that's just like his entire mindset is like, well, I need, like, everyone's counting on me. I need to do this, right? I'm not saying you had to go to that extreme, but it was a good lesson to say that Kobe's had been winning championships, right? Like this one game wasn't gonna like kill his wealth. It wasn't gonna kill his status, but he realized that, hey, I didn't do this right. I need to get this better, this specific thing, so I'm going to continue to work on it.
Yeah, no, that's for growth mindset, especially when it comes to failure. That is a great way to do that. Just learn from the mistake, put in the effort, put in the work, try something new, see if it turns into a new situation. Yeah. So I definitely, that's a good one. Did you have any other points you want to make on that? You got a lot on here, man.
I think we're good, right?
Okay. Yeah. All right. We're headed down to our frugal and cheap. Hey, you missed the whole thing, man. What's up, man?
My bad. These cats, they're all around.
All right, I see you got a dry out laundry. Are you talking about hanging clothes?
Yeah, I'm talking about hanging clothes.
Oh yeah. So yeah, no, I know about that, man. I grew up with my grandmother, and that was something that she did. Yeah, so like they'll wash the clothes and then they go hang them. But I think she still had a dryer. That was the thing.
Yeah. It was only emergency stuff.
Yeah, so I was like, and maybe that was just a thing they like to do. Only thing that happens, you get bugs or whatever, right? Yeah, because they'll attach themselves to your clothes when when you're getting ready to bring them in.
Yeah, and that's why you ring them out and stuff before you fold.
Yeah, but I don't know. What do you think when it comes to being frugal or cheap? Because some people may just like it, you know.
If they just like, I don't know, man. I think it really depends on where you're at, right? So
Yeah.
like if you're like, you know, my brother and parents, they live in Hawaii and stuff, so it's typically like fairly sunny and stuff.
Yeah.
For like, you know, if you're in the hills or if you're early morning, late at night. So like it's just, but it's more commonplace to do it there just because of the weather. So, but if you're just like, if you're still trying to do it and, you know, you ain't got like the nicest weather to do it in, I don't know, man. Like I personally don't, I don't like dry, like there are certain things I'll dry, like,
Yeah.
like jeans and stuff. Like I'll try to hang dry and stuff because, you know, to keep them a little bit nicer and stuff like that. You don't want to ruin them in the dryer. But like if it's just like gym clothes, stuff like that, yeah, no, I'm tossed.
Yeah. Now it's again, if you put thought in it and you have a dryer and you're just trying to save electricity, it could be frugal. I mean, but if you look at it from, you know, I don't want to ever use electricity or whatever. I don't know. Maybe it could be cheap. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, like, because to me, like, sometimes it's a time thing, as in, like, it takes a decent amount of time. If you're not, like I said, if you're not in like a good area where it's like always hot or consistently hot,
Yeah.
and like, say if you're like hanging them inside for some reason, like that's not gonna work out. Like, you'll probably get a little bit more mold and mildew due to the things just kind of stay out there. So, but for me, it's more of like a time thing, as in, like, I can just toss in the dryer, let it run for maybe 45 minutes, and it's good.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Ever since I've had a dryer, I don't think I've ever want to hang my clothes. I don't trust people, especially you live, you know, a lot of these box neighborhoods we live in, right? If it's all suburbia, you know, and you have your clothes out to dry. Yeah, come back on your clothes.
Oh, your clothing arm.
Yeah, man. I don't know, man. Yeah, and you definitely, if you lived in an apartment, you surely couldn't do that. Yeah,
man. Unless you lived on like maybe the outside, or maybe like the higher floors, you just have it out on your balcony.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I guess you're never safe anyway, because it reminds me of a story. I had a roommate that we were at University of Southern Mississippi. That's the university out there, right? And basically he was drying his clothes, but somebody took the clothes out, but instead of just leaving the clothes up top, they took his jacket or sweatshirt or something like that. And then he saw somebody with that sweatshirt on, or like, and he was like, I know that's mine, man. He's like, I'm the only one that bought that. You know, I don't think he ever confronted him, but like,
every time he saw him, he's like,
yeah,
Jack,
yeah,
this way.
Yeah, man. But I thought that was funny. But it made me want to stick close to my clothes at the dryer. But yeah, all right, man. I guess we'll get out of here. All right, thank you everyone for listening. This is Craig and Jay signing off the Troubleshooting Life podcast. We'll see you next week. Please like and subscribe.
Next week.